I'm standing to be mayor because I love this place. I'm from here. I grew up here. My family moved to the Black Country in the mid 1970s. We came from the north. My dad came for a job, and I'm immensely proud of our achievements as a region. This is where we built the first steam engines that changed the future of the world, the first iron bridge, the Spitfires that helped win the war, and we're the region of Shakespeare and Eliot and Elgar and Tolkien, and the busiest theatre in the United Kingdom, and a world-class dance offering and a world-class symphony orchestra, and heavy metal music from the Black Country in Aston, and ska music from Coventry, and more Punjabi music made in the West Midlands and in Punjab. A young region, a super diverse region, a fabulous place. But although I'm so proud, I feel like we've lost our pride in ourselves as a region. We've lost our sense of who we are, and I want to help put that back. And the way for us to start to do that is to start taking back control of our own place from London. We've been run directly from London for 40 years, and things have got worse and worse ever since. We've been let down by generations of London politicians. Now it's time for us to start taking back control, running our own place ourselves, because we can do it better by doing it ourselves. Well, I'm me and they're them. You know, I don't speak about the other candidates. Politicians never say nice things about their opponents, and I try not to say bad things about other people. So I don't talk about them. I just talk about myself. I'm from here. I love this place. I've got a wide range of experience in the private sector. I've worked for a big multinational company. I've been a self-employed sole trader for more than a decade. I know what it's like to struggle to win business, to pay your own bills. And I've been an MP, an MEP, a government minister in 2 departments. So I've got a rich and diverse career history that I think equips me to be a good mayor, and I've got the passion and love for our place that hopefully will equip me to get that over to people and start getting that over to people in our own region and start that conversation amongst ourselves. So firstly, we should understand that the thing that people voted against in Birmingham previously was a different thing. That was a city mayor. That was for how we choose who runs Birmingham City Council. This is a completely different thing. This is a new kind of government. This is regional government, like they have in other countries. In every other developed democracy in the world, pretty much, they have a much more regional government than we do. This is about, instead of us being run from London, us being run here ourselves in the West Midlands. So it is a different thing. And has it been imposed? It's been done by the Conservative government. It was in their 2015 general election manifesto that if elected they would bring in mayoral combined authorities. So they would say that they've actually have got a democratic mandate to do this because they stood on an election platform to do it. I don't have any doubt that it's what the region needs. And actually, going around talking to people in the region, I discern that the mood is changing and that there is more of an appetite and an understanding that we need our own regional leadership and our own regional government. Ultimately, the test will be what we do. We have to actually change people's lives for the better. And at the end of the first term of mayoral government, in 3 years' time, that's when we'll judge whether we've got support for this, because for the moment people don't know what it is. Yeah, it is a problem. It's a problem, and it's an embarrassment, and it's something that we need to tackle more actively than we do. And when I'm mayor, it will be a priority. My administration will look like, in all respects, will look like the region that we are attempting to serve, because I believe that it matters. I believe that an all-white list of candidates is not where we should be in the most super diverse region in the world, and an 80% male list of candidates is not where we should be anywhere in the world. And unless we actively tackle it, that's what always happens. So you've got to actively tackle it. The first thing that we need to do to alleviate the housing crisis is we need to build far more social housing. We need to build council houses, other kinds of social housing, clean up the private rented sector, and yes, we need to have conversations with developers about land values which enable more private house building to be done. But if we just build new private homes, that's not going to solve the housing crisis, because huge numbers of people in the West Midlands can't afford them. The proportion of people going into private onto the housing ladder is falling, as I think you've said, and the proportion of people renting is rising in the West Midlands, and house prices in the West Midlands increased last year by more than in London for the first time, I think, in living memory. So my headline answer to that is we need to get the government, at no cost to West Midlands taxpayers, to nationalise the M6 toll. It's the only major road in the region, sitting on top of the region with significant excess capacity. The government nationalises it, makes it free. It is a fact that significant amounts of traffic will migrate off our motorways and local roads inside the conurbation and onto the M6 toll. That's not going to solve the problem overnight, but it could have a beneficial impact almost overnight. And then the other big theme that we need to do is we need to significantly improve and extend our public transport system so that people actually want to use it and get people out of their cars that way. My vision of a post-Brexit West Midlands is one in which we didn't repatriate power and money from Brussels in order for it to just stop in London. The West Midlands voted more strongly than any other UK region to leave, and people were not voting for all that power and money to just stop in London and for decisions to be made in at least equally a remote and apparently unaccountable way by faceless bureaucrats in London, as people feel that they were made by faceless bodies in Brussels. We need to have proper regional devolution as definitely part of the answer to Brexit. We need a seat round the table of the negotiations so that we get the best deal from Brexit for the West Midlands, not just for London and the financial sector. And we need to build a regional economy, a strong, independent regional economy which can compete as an economy on the world scale. If the West Midlands was a country, it would be the 58th biggest economy in the world. If the whole English Midlands was a country, it would be a country the size of Austria, the 45th biggest economy in the world. We can punch our way on the world stage on our own, and that is the future for us post-Brexit. An important thing that people like me, all people like me, must do all the time is we must always say at every opportunity, absolutely not, this is absolutely unacceptable, that is not the kind of place we are, that is not the kind of region we've ever been. This is a super diverse region of tolerance and respect, where we love and get on with our neighbours, and hate is not part of our vernacular. That's the first thing we have to be absolutely clear at, zero tolerance. In a more practical, on a lower level, I think there's a really interesting work being done around what they call secondary reporting. So currently, almost exclusively, if you want to report a hate crime, you have to go to a police station, whereas a lot of people who are victims of hate crimes actually might not feel very comfortable at all going to a police station, and it makes it much less likely that they report it, and therefore much less likely that it gets dealt with. There are examples now, for instance, the Sikh Gurdwara in Smethwick is registered and licensed as a place where you can go and report a hate crime and feed it directly into the system there. We need to look at extending that a lot more across the West Midlands to community and faith organisations right across the region, so that people can report hate crimes in places where they feel more comfortable. It's clear that Islamophobia is a problem, and we see over recent weeks in particular there's a particular risk of Birmingham and the Black Country being caricatured and mischaracterised when the whole debate is had about Islamic extremism and what we do about that. And again, the important thing for us to do as leaders in this region is to stand up and say, in just the same way that people who kill policemen in London are not Muslims, that is not Islam, then people who come to our region trying to frighten and intimidate and abuse and attack Muslims, or people of other faiths who aren't even Muslims, we have to say to them, you are not English. That is not the English way, and it is certainly not the West Midlands way, and it will never be accepted in our community, and we will do everything to keep you out and prevent you from undermining what we have here. One of the things we do is we focus on helping people who are struggling with practical measures. So for instance, I'll be an accredited real living wage employer, not the government's pretend living wage, but the real living wage based on the actual cost of living, £8.45 an hour. A hard day's work deserves a fair day's pay and nothing less, and that will help people who are struggling at the lower end of the economic spectrum. Free bus passes, free bus travel for 16 to 19-year-olds in college. If you're a relatively low earner and you've got two teenagers going to college, that can be a huge extra cost on your monthly bills, and that's somewhere we'll put direct help. Indeed, the entire cost of travel, we want to cap bus fares at £4.40 a day, bus and tram fares across the region. Currently there are 20 different tariffs. It's very easy to pay a lot more than that and find yourself being ripped off. £4.40 a day, automatically and electronically applied, so that it's impossible to say more than that for travel. Those are some of the practical immediate measures that we'll take to help people who are struggling at the lower end.